All right, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Gun Nation United. I'm joined by my beautiful co-host, Gun. So,
Hey,
yeah. So, I know, the usual suspects. I know. Well,
yeah.
today we have a very, very awesome, reminiscent topic. We're going to get right to it, so roll that intro. All right, after that lovely introduction, today it's very special. I'm very excited. Guns is very excited. Um, you can probably tell from the thumbnail and the title. Talk about Cowboy Bebop, Spike's gun. Really excited for this one because Cowboy Bebop is amazing, and we might save talking to the anime to the end, so that way we can talk about the gun. But yeah, love it. So let's get into the gun. So in the anime, the gun mechanics are very realistic. Like they actually have recoil. They actually aim it the certain way. They have gun discipline. Yeah, it's just overall very realistic. So his weapon is the Jericho 941, which comes in either 9mm or .41 AE ammunition, and he actually, it's a signature custom weapon, which he actually chambers it in 9x19mm. But we'll talk about the two different ammunitions. Our guns will talk about the two different ammunitions when he gets to it. But he actually, Spike,
Actually,
he actually, huh?
there's four different ammunitions.
Okay, for real life there's four, but for the show there's two. And Guns will get more into that on his section. But Spike, he took the weapon, and again, as I said, it's customized. So he actually installed a custom grip to it and a frame-mounted laser sight on the right side. Although we've never really seen him use it, if you look at the pictures, you can clearly see the sights are different than a normal weapon, you know? That's pretty much it for me. I mean, there's not a whole lot more to say. It's a realistic weapon. Guns is going to jump into it. The way it works in the anime is pretty much the same. And I think Guns would agree. It's pretty realistic the way they do it in the anime. Of course, it's not exactly 100% realistic, but it's pretty realistic for firefights in an anime, you know?
Yeah.
Like, there really is recoil, and their shooting techniques are realistic. At least realistic for an anime, you know?
Yeah.
So they're not going Scarface and hold it in on their hip and say hello to my little friend and blasting, you know, people. We take it over to Guns.
Spike's weapon is real. It is a real gun in real life. It's called the Jericho 941, as in the show. The place of origin is Israeli, and it's been in production since 1990. And there are four different calibers that it can be chambered in: 9mm, 40 Smith & Wesson, 41 Action Express, and 45 ACP. So
Can this gun be made in real life? Yes, because it's already made, which
yeah,
is surprising because me and Guns never heard of it
most
until we actually did the
anime,
research.
most anime,
So,
most anime weapons aren't real.
yeah.
So I mean, of course, there's shows that has a katana is obviously real. So and other melee weapons that are made and that are real.
It's made in
Israel.
where it was made in Israel. So yeah, our gun knowledge is pretty well diverse. Know a lot about foreign weapons and stuff like that, but never heard of that one. But it's very interesting that they would choose that gun out of all all the
Yeah.
pistols out there. Why do you think they chose that one?
I don't know. Maybe because it's its sleek finish.
And like I said, I love Cowboy Bebop, and I'm pretty sure everybody loves Cowboy Bebop. It's a really amazing show with some damn good action scenes when there are. It's not a whole lot of fight scenes in it compared to something like a shonen, you know.
Yeah.
But
Well, more story driven than fight driven. So.
it's very story driven. And
Yeah.
just to briefly touch on it, because I love Cowboy Bebop, and I know Guns loves Cowboy Bebop. It's considered definitely in our top 3 all-time favorite animes, like period.
Yeah.
And it is considered one of the greatest animes, period. And I know that there's the movie. I watched the movie a really long time ago. I haven't recently watched it, so I don't have a comment on that because I would have to rewatch it. And I know there's a manga that has alternative to the ending, and we'll get to the ending in a second. So before we tell you, before we talk about the ending, of course, we'll put spoiler warning. But
Yeah.
the main theme about it. First of all, if you never watched Cowboy Bebop, you need to go watch it. Like, it's literally one of the greatest animes, period.
Yeah.
And it's very, very character and plot driven. But what's interesting about the plot is it does the opposite of what a typical shonen does. Now, this isn't a shonen. I'm just saying, most anime people like shonen, but this does differently than what a shonen does.
Yeah.
Because shonens usually, in the very beginning, like chapter 1 or episode 1, depending anime or manga, whatever floats your boat, they start with a character who usually tells you his goals, and the whole series is going through his life until he achieves his goal.
Yeah.
Cowboy Bebop, we don't really know a whole lot about the characters' backstories. We really don't. In the comparison of things, we don't know how they all grew up. We don't know how they were all put in their situations. We just know that a lot of them were in situations, and we all know like how they got out of the situation, but don't necessarily know how they got into that situation.
Yeah.
So, for instance, Spike was working with pretty much this underground mafia group. He ends up falling for this girl. They were going to run away, but then she got blackmailed, and then he left. And then joined up with Jet, who used to be a detective, until his partner shot off his arm. And then he became a bounty hunter and met Spike. And then we know Freya, who lost her memory because before the universe was like destroyed and all that stuff. Well, not destroyed, but before it got fucked up. She was a normal girl who was going to go into space, but then there was a freak accident, and she got frozen for like 50 years. And the only exception is Edward, who is I don't even know the age, to be honest with you. Probably 10, maybe 10 to 12.
Probably something.
Really, yeah, something like that. Really optimistic young girl who is barely just starting life. Of course, the main theme of Cowboy Bebop is loneliness. It's one of those things where they never truly get to right when all the character arcs end. Of course, now this is spoilers right here, so spoiler warning. Skip over for about a minute or two. But what ends up happening is, Frey comes back, Jet gets his story arc done, and Edward gets her story arc done, and she ends up leaving to go on her own adventure. And then Spike ends up going to fight Vicious, then his story arc, and ends up dying. So the main theme is loneliness, and Jet and Freya are, spend the rest of it lonely.
Yeah.
Which is kind of fucked up, but also beautiful at the same time, because Spike's girl got killed in front of him, and then he dies and he's set free.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend you guys go back and watch Cowboy Bebop. If you've seen it already, go back and rewatch it if it's been a couple years. If you've never seen it, go watch it. It's really worth watching.
Yeah.
So, in conclusion, we don't have to worry about it being made. It's already made.
Surprised too.
Yeah, surprising. And really surprising that they went with that weapon. Again,
Yeah.
I don't know the reason why, but very interesting choice. So, for an interesting series. Anyway, folks, I've been Creeder. This has been Guns. Take it away, Guns.
We have the saying, and it's also the golden rule. It's keep your beer cold and your ammo hot, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.